It is an offensive word. It's demeaning to people, and it's it's just really rude.
How students are trying to ban the R word in their school. And his job on the line. A vote tonight on whether to fire an APD lieutenant who shot a fellow officer.
We certainly will. Making sure our doors and windows are all locked until these two inmates are apprehended.
Two violent convicts who don't have a lot to lose escaped from the back of a prison transport van in southern New Mexico. After searching all morning across that part of the state, the search has shifted to Albuquerque. The two prison escapees are still on the run, but the manhunt moved from the Artesia area to here. News 13's Marissa Lucero is at Gibson and University, where they were last spotted. Marissa?
Jess, state police say Joseph Cruz and Lionel Claw were spotted on security camera walking into the Hawthorne Hotel around 4:30 this morning. Now, police have been searching for Cruz and Claw since 1 this morning when prison guards realized the two had escaped. The two were being transported from the state pen in Santa Fe to the prison in Las Cruces when they escaped sometime after a stop in Roswell while in shackles and prison jumpsuits. The transport van did stop in Artesia to get gas around 8:30 last night, then arrived in Cruces sometime after midnight when the guards realized they were gone. Police set up checkpoints around the Artesia area, then switched their focus to Albuquerque this afternoon after the two escapees were caught on security cam inside the Hawthorne Suites hotel lobby. The pictures were taken at 4:30 this morning. It has people staying at the hotel on edge.
Just to know, their history and having them close by, it makes us a little nervous.
That kind of makes me nervous too, because there's two other people that are with us that we left in the room.
Now, Cruz is a convicted killer serving life. Claw shot a police officer and deputy in a chase and is serving 30 years. Now, that's a tattoo of a feather on his cheek. Now, police are asking people in Albuquerque to use caution, and if they're at home, to lock their doors. Back to you, Jess.
All right, thank you, Marissa. For most of the day, the search was focused in Artesia. That's where the convicts were last accounted for when the van they were in stopped to get gas at around 8:30 last night. State police, Artesia police, Eddy County Sheriff's deputies, and Border Patrol all combed the area looking for Cruz and Claw. They set up checkpoints in Artesia, searching all the cars driving through. Police were also going door to door checking on homes. People there say it's been chaotic.
It's been really hectic. There's been choppers flying around. Like I said, officers riding double. A lot of Border Patrol units. They want to find these guys.
Checkpoints between Artesia and Roswell have been taken down. As we mentioned, these men are violent, serving long sentences for their crimes. Joseph Cruz is a convicted murderer. He stabbed a man to death over drugs in Raton. Last year, we highlighted Cruz in a News 13 special assignment because he managed to create a Facebook page that's against the rules. And Lionel Claw shot at law enforcement near Farmington. The last time he was on the run. In 2007, he led deputies on a high-speed chase and shot at them, wounding one of them. Another state police officer was grazed by a bullet. As the manhunt continues, investigators are trying to figure out how this could even happen. It's clear someone messed up, and the Corrections Department wants to know who. News 13's Candace Hopkins has the latest. Candace?
Jessica, two corrections officers were transporting inmates between several facilities starting in Los Lunas. They picked up the two men at the state pen in Santa Fe, then headed to their next stop in Roswell. Their final destination was the southern New Mexico Correctional Facility in Las Cruces, where officers discovered the men were gone. They were last accounted for when the van made its stop in Roswell. Next, the van headed to Artesia, as we've said, where it stopped for gas. That's where officials say the transport was most vulnerable, and it's likely the men got away. But so far, officials haven't said how they were able to escape. At the time, as we've said, they were shackled at their hands and feet and wearing prison jumpsuits, and the two officers should have been periodically checking on them. This morning, the search was focused in that Artesia area. At this point, officials say they assume this escape was planned ahead of time.
We can't just assume an opportunity, right? Because if we limit ourselves to that, we miss all sorts of potential things that we need to find out to either hold ourselves accountable or hold those inmates accountable.
Officials say the officers running this transport were experienced and assigned exclusively to the transport unit. Investigators are now trying to figure out if anyone else was involved besides Cruz and Claw in their escape. Back to you, Jessica.
All right, thank you, Candace. We will be following this manhunt until the two men are found. Stay with us on air and online and on our KRQE News app. Right now, the Civilian Police Oversight Agency is meeting to discuss the fate of APD Lieutenant Greg Brackle. Brackle shot fellow detective Jacob Grant during an undercover drug operation more than a year ago. News 13's Madeline Schmidt is live outside City Hall where the meeting is going on. Madeline?
Well, Jessica, we already know the recommendation of the executive director of the Civilian Police Oversight Agency that Brackle be fired. Now the board members have to agree with him for that to move forward. Last month, we obtained CPOA Executive Director Ed Harness's report on Brackle. It slams the lieutenant, saying he broke several standard protocols the day he nearly killed Grant. The shooting occurred during an undercover drug sting. Grant said Brackle shot him 9 times at point-blank range in the McDonald's parking lot near Central and Tramway. Grant was in a car with 2 suspected drug dealers when Brackle fired, only striking Grant. Harness says Brackle did not attend a briefing on the drug sting beforehand and again messed up when he parked his patrol car in front of an officer who had been briefed. The report also states Brackle should have recognized Grant in the daylight and known that standard protocol in this kind of sting is for the undercover to sit behind the driver and to be armed. Now, if the board members agree to recommend to fire Brackle, Police Chief Gordon Eden can either accept that or he has to write a statement saying why he thinks Brackle should keep his job. Jessica, back to you.
All right, thank you, Madeline. The recommendation is expected tonight. Once the chief gets it, he'll have 30 days to respond. We do have crews inside the meeting, and we'll have what happens tonight on News 13 at 10. Another suspect has been arrested in the murder of 17-year-old Jaden Chavez Silver. He was shot and killed in a drive-by shooting in Albuquerque last year. APD says 19-year-old Dominic Conyers turned himself in and was booked today on a warrant for murder. Other suspects include 22-year-old Donovan Mays, 21-year-old Christopher Cruz, and 16-year-old Nicholas Gonzalez Villaseñor. They are awaiting trial. Police say a man and woman accused of killing an Army veteran at an Albuquerque ATM continued on a crime spree after the shooting. Now it's unclear when the suspects will face the murder charge. On Friday, U.S. Marshals arrested Matthew Chavez and Veronica Trimble. The two had been on the run since February 5th when Army veteran Tyler Lackey was gunned down at Gibson and Yale. The pair was caught in Oklahoma. Chavez is charged with robbery there.
The allegations are that he went into the Hastings and presented the cashier with a note making a threat that he would use a gun. He had a gun, not to make a scene, and to give the money in the cash register to him.
An Oklahoma judge put a no-bond hold on Chavez. It's unclear if Chavez will face the Oklahoma robbery charge before being extradited. U.S. Marshals say the two are also suspects in robberies in New Mexico and Texas. The APS board president survived a heart attack. The school district says Dr. David Piercy was playing handball Tuesday at a gym when it happened. A defibrillator was used to revive him. APS says he is doing better after triple bypass surgery. A wanted man made a scene overnight on a business's roof. 22-year-old Angel Gutierrez was wanted on 2 warrants. Late last night, APD spotted a stolen car near I-40 and 6th Street. Police say Gutierrez was driving, crashed, and took off running. Officers found him on top of the Goodwill building. SWAT negotiated with him until morning when he finally came down. Rio Rancho's Veterans Memorial Park is getting a high-tech security system to deter vandals. The park honors veterans and law enforcement like fallen Rio Rancho police officer Greg Nigel Benner. The city says not even that keeps vandals from striking. When crews washed off the latest graffiti, some of the names on the bricks came off. The city wants to keep that from happening again. So the Rio Rancho City Council voted to put in a $30,000 security system.
It'll be things like motion sensors, cameras, alerts to the police department.
Police say they'll figure out the best spots to put up the cameras. New Mexico students at a high school are taking a pledge and asking others to join.
He's asking me all the time.
How they're using their friendships to work on respecting each other instead of shaming each other. That's coming up. Also, after a crook robbed a little girl of the only bicycle she could use, someone steps up to make her day.
You're watching KRQE News 13 at 5:30 with Dean Staley, Jessica Garrete, and weather with Chief Meteorologist Mark Ronchetti. Reporting you can trust.
800 pledges in one day. That's how many students at one Rio Rancho High School promised that they would no longer use the R word. Now, News 13's Marissa Lucero spoke to the teens behind the push.
It's an understanding.
Hashtag best buddies.
Among friends. Among students at Cleveland High School.
It is an offensive word. It's demeaning to people, and it's, it's just really rude.
That's why they started a campaign to get people to stop using the R word.
It took one day to get 800 signatures, students pledging not to use the R word, and if they did, they'd get one of these.
Stress balls with the phrase, "This is respect," written across them.
Gonna get these to Tiana and I'll wash these.
Nearly 60 students at the school make up the Best Buddies program, teens who make time throughout their day to mentor students with a disability. Teaching them life skills they can use even after they graduate.
I don't think there's any bananas.
But today is all about having some fun.
Yeah.
I know.
Like making smoothies and taking selfies.
You can't kiss him?
Because for these students, it's the friendship that counts.
He's asking me all the time. And he always asks all the time.
Special education teacher Ben V. Hill says students have embraced this project and it's become very personal for a number of them.
It's refreshing to see that, and I guess I get spoiled because, I'm so used to it now that I don't think anything different, and so that's why we want to make sure that we're spreading our message.
A message shared between friends.
He got a girlfriend already. That's a problem.
Marissa Lucero, KRQE News 13.
Students in the Best Buddy program say next year they want to take their campaign outside of the school and into their neighborhoods. We told you about a mother and her daughter who were robbed of a special bike. Well, today they got a great surprise. Firefighters' random acts of kindness gave the pair bicycles, one for Faith Schweitzer and one for her mom to attach to that bike. Faith, an elementary student in Los Lunas, was born blind. She had a special bike that would allow Faith to pedal and her mom to steer. A crook stole their bikes from their yard during a trip. Faith says she's excited and cannot wait to get on the road.
I'm gonna make my mom get on there and we're gonna ride 10 miles.
The two were nominated for a random act of kindness after their story aired on our news. A bubbly bombshell in Rio Rancho. A neighbor sent us, look at this, these pictures of what turned into a giant bubble machine. Someone had dumped soap into this huge water fountain yesterday at the Lomas Encantadas subdivision. That's at Enchanted Hills and Lincoln. Crews have cleaned it up now, but say it's not the first time this has happened. They say the cleanup is costly and time-consuming.
Come on.
Yeah.
Not good.
Not
Can't
good.
be doing that.
No. But don't laugh. It's kind of funny.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
That's it.
But it's a pain to clean up.
Yeah,
so don't
we're
do
not
it.
cleaning it
We're
up.
not cleaning it up.
Exactly.
but-
So we can
Yeah.
chuckle at it. All right, let's show you what's going on. Let's get to the storm. Jess, we have a chance at things getting at least interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know.
Okay.
It's going to take, you're kind of a storm jinx. So I tell you what.
Okay.
Take the weekend off.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Just go out.
I'll do that.
Do you mind just leaving the state?
I
All
can
right,
do
good.
that. I can do that.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Good. You do that, and we'll take care of the storm here. Clear skies right now, not much to worry about, but what we will see here is a storm heading in by about Saturday. As far as what's happening right now with satellite and radar, you can see 70 on the west side. Your 7-day forecast, a few things to watch for here. More cloud cover for Saturday and Sunday. Not going to put in a shower quite yet, but it is a possibility here. And of course, those clocks go ahead by Sunday, and we will keep you updated on this storm and others at KRQE Mark on Twitter.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. Video of a mother being reunited with her babies going viral. After the break, we'll show you how this dog reacted when she realized it was her puppies in the room with her. A dog is reunited with her puppies after the dog was given up by her owner. The Humane Society in California realized Cora had just given birth and convinced the owner to also surrender the 4 pups. They say the mother had been sulking in the corner. She spent time sniffing the puppies before realizing they were her own. Look at them.
Oh.
From there, it was all yelping and tail wagging as they basked in the reunion. How sweet.
Oh, that will be a quick adoption once they get everybody else set.
They're so cute.
Very cool stuff. All right, let's go ahead and show you what's going on with your 7-day forecast, which includes another sunny day for tomorrow. High of 69 degrees. We cool down over the weekend. We've got more clouds. What we're watching here is a storm system and how far south it drops. The farther south, the more moisture we get out of this deal. We'll have an update on it tonight at 10, and we'll get you ready to go by the time we hit the weekend.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you back here at 10.